Hey guys, welcome back to r/EntitledPeople. We got some more Reddit posts to check out today, so be sure to like and subscribe and let's get into it, friends. Business class upgrade, if there is room. I used to work at a regional airline. The jet we used for our flight to the big city had 6 business class seats. The business class service was really good for a 2-hour flight. It included a full bar service, a hot meal, warmed bread basket, followed by a trolley with dessert and signature coffee. The good old days. One of our regular travelers was a local business owner who was just a slimy businessman. He had a reputation for making a lot of money from some pretty shady deals over the years. We would roll our eyes when we saw him coming to the check-in counter because he would always name drop and ask for special treatment. He always used the business class check-in line, even though he was usually in economy. He didn't have frequent flyer status, but he was buddies with one of the airline executives and always let us know this fact when he checked in, by making sure to tell us he was good friends with Vice President Karen. He would always ask for free upgrades, extra baggage, not charging a change fee, last-minute discounts, etc. If he didn't get what he wanted, he immediately called VP Karen, who would usually then call us and approve whatever it was he wanted. So one day, the businessman checks in for his flight to the big city, and of course name drops and asks for a free upgrade to business class because, quote, "I'm friends with VP Karen and said it would be okay." He was traveling on a discounted ticket that was not eligible for upgrade, even if he did have an upgrade coupon, which he didn't. I informed him that he was not eligible for any upgrade on this ticket, and gave him his boarding pass and sent him on his way. Of course, he flips open his cell phone and immediately calls VP Karen. Within 2 minutes, the phone at the check-in desk rings, and it's VP Karen authorizing me to override the policy, to upgrade the businessman to business class, with no upgrade coupon required, if there is room. The flight that day wasn't that busy, and only one person booked in business class, leaving 5 open seats. I was really irritated, but I begrudgingly put the businessman on the upgrade list anyways. He returned to the check-in counter and picked up his standby boarding card, and gave me that smug, told you so look. But then what VP Karen said clicked with me. If there is room. The next passenger I checked in was a super nice lady. Big smile, friendly, please and thank you. "Oh, thank you so much for checking my bags to my connecting flight. That's so nice of you." I was taking my time and we were chatting a bit since it wasn't that busy. She was a teacher going on a trip to see her family, and it was her first visit with them in over a year, and she was going to meet her little nephew for the first time. She was overjoyed just to have the time off to travel. I typed in a few things into the computer to make it look like I was checking something about her connecting flights, and then said, "Oh, you have been selected today to receive a free upgrade to business class." She was shocked. I've never flown business class in my life. That is so amazing. At that time, we were rarely questioned if we upgraded someone without a certificate. Over the next 20 minutes, I found excuses to upgrade 4 other passengers. One who worked for one of our top corporate accounts, one who was legitimately a frequent flyer. Can't remember the other reasons, but by the time I went to board the flight, I had to tell the businessman that I was sorry, but business class was full and couldn't offer him an upgrade today. The teacher I upgraded profusely thanked me again when she boarded, with the rest of the business class passengers. Little did she know that it really made my day also. There were no repercussions to my actions. We rarely upgraded passengers randomly, so it wasn't something that caught management's attention, and they mostly trusted our judgment on these things. But like many customer service jobs, I'm sure, if you were nice to us, we would go out of our way to help you. If you were not nice to us, we would apply the rules very strictly. Girl who played me ends up getting played by the dude she cheated on me with. Myself, a 26-year-old male, and my ex, a 24-year-old female, let's call her M, had been dating for about 6 months. The first 5 months were great. We started off slow, seeing each other once or twice a week for the first month. I realized I really liked this girl after our 4th date. She came back to my place that night and magic happened. After that, we started talking every day, and I basically had zero desire to talk to any other women. I deleted my dating apps, cut contact with this other girl I had seen a couple times right before I met M, and felt good that me and M had a good thing going. I include these details because it's important to an incident that happens down the road. For the next 5 months, we went out every weekend, spending almost every whole weekend together. So one night after a night out having food and seeing a comedy show, she's just in an awful mood. There were about 6 comedians performing one after the other. This first dude came up and had that whole "bitches ain't shit, blah blah blah, don't ever settle" act. It got laughs, but not from me. After his set, immediately, my girlfriend leaned over and asked what that was all about. I just shrugged and said he thinks negatively of women. It's a comedy show, so take it with a grain of salt. She just said, I know. But then the whole rest of the show, she couldn't find anything funny. Fast forward to the second to last guy, who had a funny story about his cheating ex, but no hatred in his voice. He seemed over it and did not badmouth her at all, especially compared to the first guy. M wanted to leave after this, and I didn't object, because I could tell she was not enjoying herself. The car ride home was absolute projecting at its finest. For 15 minutes, I was hit with accusations of finding misogyny to be okay, and that I'm probably cheating on her because all men do it. While I was driving, I literally unlocked my phone telling her to look through my texts. Wasn't enough. I dropped her off and she said we're finished, and that she had never seen this side of me before. I sat there shocked and at a loss for words. She got out and didn't turn back, just walked in her house. Not gonna lie, I cried on the drive home once I was out of her presence. It was that helpless feeling of thinking you did everything right, but realizing it's not gonna work. A month passes by and I sort of am over it. I had reached out once, being ignored, and then the feelings dissipated gradually with no contact between us. Hindsight really is a bitch. Why didn't I see through the BS sooner? Fast forward to a Friday night, where I'm just hanging out with a couple buddies. I get a call from an unknown number. I ignore it. 5 minutes later, a text. Hey man, I think you and I should talk. You know M. I saw her texts between you two and I think you're gonna enjoy this. I could feel this grin coming across my face as I realized what was happening. I knew before he told me. I call him and he basically told me that she was playing both of us. Except this dude had a far worse end of the stick. Come to find out, they've been married for 2 years, and he was home in Brazil taking care of his dying mother for the last 6 months. He reassured me he was not mad at me, and that he knew I was a good guy. I just felt bad for the guy at this point. Here's the best part. He then explains to me that this past weekend they drove, in his registered car, about 6 hours out of town for a concert and a weekend getaway. At the concert, her phone died, and he went to, quote, use the bathroom. He slipped away, drove back home in his car, and packed all her shit up out of their house. He then drove another 90 minutes to her parents' house, explaining the whole situation, and dropped all of her shit off there. He blocked her number after she demanded he pay for her flight home. Let's just say her parents aren't too proud of their daughter's decisions, and have reached out to her husband numerous times begging for his forgiveness. What a guy to reach out to me and share his delicious shenanigans. Still friends. What a strange yet oddly wholesome way to make a new friend, through a shared experience of getting cheated on by the same person. Group of Karens try to skip out on restaurant bill over hollandaise sauce. The place I work at is a hole-in-the-wall restaurant in a really small farming town. Think of Dog River from the show Corner Gas, and it describes the vibe of the place. The outside is pretty run down since the upstairs tenants are car farmers, so there are broken down cars all over the property. The food is really good, and it has become the meeting place for a lot of locals, mostly farmers and old-timers. So a group of 3 middle-aged women come in, and they are instantly complaining about the outside of the place being messy and run down looking. I guess they are from a nearby city and saw that our restaurant has excellent reviews on Google, and they wanted to try the place out. The server kindly told them that the restaurant has no control over what the outside of the place looks like. Made a "it's a good thing you don't have to eat outside" joke. And the women got offended and complained that we weren't taking their suggestions seriously. They all ordered eggs Benedict, and one of them asked for it to be made without hollandaise sauce. They also complained about service being slow, but given that we were pretty slammed that day and we only have one cook, we were doing our best. The lady that wanted no hollandaise sauce then came up to the counter and rudely told us to add hollandaise sauce, but she wanted it on the side because she wasn't sure if she liked it. We offered to let her sample some, but she refused. Once their food was served, she tried to send back the sauce, but the server told her that we couldn't take it off the bill because we can't serve that sauce to someone else. She complained, but the server stuck to her guns and told her, next time try the sample when it's offered if she isn't sure if she likes something. We will usually let people sample stuff so this exact scenario doesn't happen. It was close to closing, so we stopped serving new customers and started doing our closing duties. We did not stop serving people who were already there, however. The women all of a sudden got up and left, and we realized they hadn't paid yet. The server chased them outside and told them they forgot to pay. They told the server that since we closed while we were serving them, they thought that they didn't have to pay. The server told them to pay, and they told the server that since the hollandaise sauce wasn't taken off the bill, they weren't paying. The server told them once again they had to pay for the food they ordered, and since there was nothing wrong with the sauce, it wasn't coming off the bill. The server threatened to call the police if they didn't pay, and if they left, she would record their license plate, and they would be banned from the restaurant as well. They reluctantly paid and of course didn't tip. I still don't understand how they thought they could have gotten away without paying. They kept saying, "You're closed, we don't have to pay." Friend's entitled mom stole our holiday money. This happened quite a few years ago. My best friend and I were planning our first ever girls' holiday abroad. We were both 23 at the time and had never gone on holiday overseas without our parents. We were looking through all of the holidays, and we found one we liked that was £600 each all-inclusive for a week. We assumed we had to pay the full amount, and her mom asked if we could put it on her credit card, so she would get some club card points. We both did an instant bank transfer for the full balance there and then. Her mom then sat at the computer and filled in her payment details and hit enter. But we didn't realize she selected the option to only pay a deposit until we were sent a booking confirmation. After that, she wouldn't log in and pay the remaining balance. She told us she will do it next week. Then she didn't do it when the next installment was due. It ended up causing a problem between me and my friend because her mom basically stole our money and told us it was our fault for giving her the full balance, and she's now spent the money. I ended up telling her that if she didn't pay the balance, I would have to report her for theft to the police. After that, her dad agreed to pay the balance, but I got banned from the house for threatening to report her for theft. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching, I appreciate it. Be sure to drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And with that, I'm out of here, so have an awesome day and I'll see you next time.